y'all, this next pumpkin that we're going to make is going to be a mixed media style. Here's one that I did recently. It has the paper and it has some doilies and paint. And I also did this one. It's on a raw canvas, and it's also got the paper and the paint and the doilies, the butterfly of course, and a little bit of tissue paper. But the one we're going to do today, we're going to use a canvas, some scrapbooking paper of your choice. We're going to need some Mod Podge. I usually use the matte version. You're going to need some paint that will match your papers that you're going to use. And you're going to need brushes. And the best thing that I've found to use to put Mod Podge on is these really cheap little sponge brushes. You can throw them away when you're done if you want to, if they get left out and harden like mine usually do. But let's see. So you just need your paper, your paint, your canvas, and your Mod Podge, basically. If you would like to use tissue paper, you can use that. Let's see. I've got some here somewhere. I picked this up at the dollar store. It's just some really cute polka dot paper. So when you use this over a pattern like this, once you put that Mod Podge on there, you're still going to be able to see some of the pattern of the paper underneath. So that works out really, really cute sometimes. So let's get started. Okay, we're going to start. This is an 8x8 canvas that I have here. The sides are not going to be finished because they already have these brass, I don't know what you call those, brads or tacks. So I'm just going to work on the top of this piece. And I'm going to start by putting this piece of scrapbook paper here that I've just randomly torn. It looks like some old barn wood. Okay, so I'm just going to put this on the back. Smooth it out. And then put some more on top. If you need to lift it up and get some under there to get it really, it needs to be really secure on the edges so that it doesn't lift. And using your finger is a great way to get those edges to smooth down. I don't really have a complete plan for this one, so we'll see how it turns out as I go. Okay, so those edges are secured really well. And I think I want to put this down here on top of it, and my pumpkin is going to sit sort of in this area here. So I'm going to go ahead and put some more of this on the back of this. It's kind of hard for me to plan a piece ahead of time because a lot of what I do just kind of spontaneously happens as I'm working on something. Okay, so I'm going to use my fingers and smooth this down. Okay, and that's going to need to dry a little bit. So we'll put it to the side, and I'm going to show you how I usually work on my pumpkins with my paper. Now I know that it needs to be about this big. So what I usually do is I turn my paper over and I draw it on the back roughly about the size that I think I want it to be. So I'm just going to sketch out a little pumpkin, and then I'm going to tear it in strips. So I'm going to tear out the outside edges first. Make it easier to work with a smaller piece. And then, instead of just putting this on top of here, I'm going to tear the pieces and then reassemble them with a little bit of space in between them. And sometimes I do this and I use a different color or a different pattern. I mix in different patterns, like this one has the black and white polka dots and the yellow and white polka dots, 3 different kinds, or 2 different kinds, with the third thing being the little piece of doily there. But for this one, I'm just going to work with these colors. Got a little wrinkle going on. Oh, I tore it. It's okay. Just going to pull that piece off right there. Try to get that wrinkle out without tearing my doily anymore. Okay. So over here, we don't have any paint down or anything. So I think before I put this pumpkin together here, what I want to do is add a little bit of a background color. And I think I'm going to go with a little bit of this light yellow that I've got mixed up here. Find the brush that I'm looking for. Actually, I may just use my palette knife. I'm going to take, this is just a little bit of yellow ochre and some white gesso that's been mixed together, and it gives me this little yellow, light yellow color. And I'm going to just scrape that down just to give me a little bit of something color-wise over here. Most of that's probably going to be covered up with other things later, but at least got a little background color there. Okay. And I'm very impatient when I'm creating things, so a lot of times I don't let things dry completely like you're probably supposed to. I don't know, but I'm going to go ahead, even though this paint is a little bit wet, I'm going to go ahead and start making my pumpkin. And I think I'm going to start with the middle piece. Go ahead and put some Mod Podge there on it. You're going to have to be a little bit careful with this though, because if you try to put the Mod Podge on top of this piece, you may pull some of that paint down on top of your pumpkin that you put down for your background. So just place it, and we'll go back over the top of it later. We're just going to get our basic shape. And leave a little bit of space in between, because we're going to go back and do some paint there on that. Okay, and then this piece is going to go over here. just like that. That's the whole thing. Okay. Wipe my fingers off. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to pick out a color that we want to go around our pumpkin with. And I think I'm going to use a brown. I've got just real brown's what it's called. Just a basic brown color. And I'm going to put some here right beside my white because I'm going to mix it up just a little bit. And I'm going to use my palette knife again. And if you have done any of my tutorials before, you know that I like to trace around things with my palette knife because it gives it a little bit of a messy, rustic look. And that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to make the stem on our pumpkin, and I'm going to go around the edges of it also. So I'm going to just load this up with a little bit of brown, or a lot of brown and a little bit of white. And I'm going to start here in this area at the top and just come around and make my pumpkin. These lines that I left here, the cracks in the paper, are going to become the lines on our pumpkin. I'm going to make a little rounded area here at the bottom and another rounded area here. And this is going to be very messy and very almost abstract. Up here at the top, we're going to come up and around this side and come up and around on this side. And then we're going to make our stem up here at the top. I'm going to turn it upside down and just make a little square. Pull it up into a little bit taller rectangle, and then I'm going to make an area right here that looks like it's sort of rounded for the top. Okay, so there's our little pumpkin. It's pretty cute. And the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to smooth out a little bit of these wrinkles here. I'm going to let this dry and let you catch up if you need to catch up and work on your pumpkin a little bit longer. I'm going to decide now what I want to do up here in this area. You can add words with stamps like this. Just alphabet rubber stamps and ink. You could add some more stenciling. Use something like this, or maybe some polka dots, or even a floral stencil like this, which I think would be really pretty, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add a little bit of some stenciling over here on this area, and I may end up putting some words here and maybe adding a little bit of some turquoise paint in that area. Okay, but first I'm just going to take, this is a Deco Art stencil, by the way, which is one of my favorites. And I believe it's called Jacobean Floral. I'll look that up and have that listed for you. But I'm just going to take a stiff, round stenciling brush. And so I'm just going to lay that right here. Pick up a little bit of this white gesso. And then just tap it in. Stuck. That looks pretty. Let's see, I'll do a little bit more down here. Okay. I think I'm going to add a little bit of some turquoise paint up here, but I want it to be a light turquoise. I've got a darker turquoise and a little bit of some white gesso. I'm just going to mix it around with my finger a little bit. And do this little number here. I think that I'm also going to use a little bit of white gesso on my finger and just make it lighter places here. Just a tiny bit on your finger. It just gives it a little bit of a shadow and a highlight on the pumpkin. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of white up here and right here. Okay. Also got this really cool butterfly paper here that I'm thinking about adding. Add one of these. Let's see, I've already got this one that I've cut out a piece of that I could cut out this part and just let him be right here on the edge of this pumpkin. I think that's what I'll do. I can find my scissors. Okay, so I'm going to cut out my half of a butterfly. I'm not going to cut out the whole thing, just half of it so that it looks like it is sitting there on the edge of my pumpkin, just like this. So I'm going to use my Mod Podge again, the back of it. You know what, I just thought about we didn't put any Mod Podge on the top of our pumpkin paper, but it's okay because it won't hurt one thing. Okay, so we've got a cute little butterfly there on our pumpkin now. I'm going to let that dry just a little bit and put a little bit on top of it. Okay. And I think while that's drying, I'm going to plan out my words that I want to put up here at the top. If you have stamps, You can mix and match the different kinds that you have, and that makes it look a little bit more fun. The different fonts. Like this, for example, I did this on another one, but I've used 3 different kinds of letters to make one word, and it just gives it a really cool look. I think on this one I'm going to put maybe it's fall, y'all, or you could put fall is my favorite. I think I'm going to try that. Fall is my favorite. Okay. There's the A and the L. I just need an F for fall. I'm going to have to just pour these out. So here we've got the word fall. I have to use this L twice. And then I'm going to go with is, I-S. Go. Fall is, and then I'm going to put a little M-Y for my. There's the M. Different Y. And I should probably find a better way to store my rubber stamps so that I can see these things a little better. Let's see. But this will give you some time to catch up if you needed some time to catch up with your painting. Okay, here's a Y. Fall is my, and then I've already got the F-A for favorite. I need the V. I may just put fave. That would be cute. F-A-V. Fall is my fave. Or would it be F-A-V-E? Fall is my fave. Not even sure if favorite would fit on here. Let's see. I think I'm just gonna have to go with fave. Fall is my fave. Okay. You can make yours say whatever you want it to say. If you don't like my words, you can totally make it your own. And that's what I want you to do, because I want this to be something that you created and you don't have to do exactly what I do. Alright, I'm going to start here with the F. You can go back over this with a little bit of paint if you need to after. It's fall. Is. I'm going to do word my over here. Always look at your stamp before you put it down, because some of my stamps are upside down. This is turned this way, but when you actually stamp it, it looks this way. So make sure that you look at it before you put it down. Okay. Fall is my fave. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to fix this because it doesn't look all that great at this point in time. First of all, you can take a small paintbrush and whatever color is underneath here, just pick some of that up on your brush and brush over these areas like this where the edge of your stamp and the corner of it got on your canvas, and that covers that up pretty well. The white gesso helps cover it really well too. Okay. Use a little bit of this turquoise right here. Cover that up. Okay. Next, some of these stamps did not stamp on very well. You can just take some black acrylic paint and a small paintbrush, teeny tiny paintbrush, and then just go in there and fix it. You can still see exactly where the lines are. If you mess it up, just take your white gesso and go right back over it and start all over again. No worries. It would probably help if I had waited for the paint to dry before I stamped, because I pulled up some of the paint when I stamped and messed up my ink a little bit. Okay. At this point, I'm not sure if I want to add something else over here or if I just like it the way it is, but I think I am going to put a little bit more white on the edge of this here. Got some brown. Just gives it some character. And I'm going to put a little bit of some white on my butterfly here. And I'm going to go around the edge of it with my finger and lighten that area up right there. It just kind of makes it stand out a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to take my little liner brush and a little bit of this brown paint and go around the edge of my butterfly, just roughly. Okay. If you would like to add any other things, any other stenciling or flowers, or you could add some sort of little insects like a bee. If you'd like to do that, you could. But this is basically how you would make a mixed media canvas pumpkin.